Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going ahead and reviewing one of T90 official's live games as he plays on the ladder. He's actually pretty high rated, up around 2k2 to 2k3, and he's going up against none other than the Dragon Star. I think his name is in another language, but he's the Dragon Star, and he's up around 2k5 elo. So it's going to be a hard match for T90 for sure, and definitely Dragon Star being the favorite. I've actually played against this guy. He's the #1 Indian player. Played against this guy a couple times, definitely beaten me here and there. And we have Poles for T90 up against the Armenians of the Dragon Star. And I feel like Armenians are, one of the newer civs that feel like pretty well balanced overall. They have some strong options and a decent economy, but they're not, exactly broken. And, some might even say that they have a pretty weak late game on the land. They are supposed to be more of a water unit. And then as far as Poles go, I mean, they're also kind of a new civ. Not too new at this point, but they're very good at farming, very good with the Hussar, with the Cav. And so I think, if T90 can get towards its comfort zone with the Civ, it is definitely going to be more powerful than the Armenians overall. But to be honest, when it comes to, a Civ like Armenians, I feel like their gameplay is going to be pretty decent into the polls. With the idea of going something like Halberdier champion late game, Poles not having access to hand cannoneer, and Poles not, comfortably getting to Arbalest most games. It can be pretty tricky. Obviously, you do have the Obuch, which can be a really good tool for the Poles to shut down the Armenian infantry. So it's going to be a very solid game. The composite bowman from the Armenians could be a problem as well. So there's a lot of things that could be in the Armenian arsenal to take out what the Poles have to offer. Let's take a look and see what the map is looking like for T90 as he pulls in his first boar. Does have that gold on the front, which is a little bit concerning for him, especially since it's on a hill. His other gold is towards the back, and he's got the stone on the left side as well. The stone is in a decent spot, actually, because I can see a world where he walls this and this. But at the moment, I feel like if I can just select him here, yeah, he doesn't really scout that. So you might not know exactly how to set up that map, but he could keep this stone relatively safe in the mid game. Does have a stone back here as well, and his third gold is really the hardest to defend. It's way out here in the front, which kind of re-emphasizes the fact that he's got to get the map control. At some point this game to be able to take some of that gold. Important thing to note though, the berries are towards the back, which is really important. You're able to full work at the back, farm and eat your berries. Then nonetheless, just all safe, no problems there. And it's actually, it's such an important thing. Oh, that one's an okay full work. I think at the back might be better actually, but this one is fine. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's still going to be safe. It's actually worth it in my opinion with poles if you have forward berries that you cannot defend. I think it's worth it to still build your full work at the back. And then use the farms rather than the berries. But of course, berries at the back makes things completely ideal. And as far as walling early, it's pretty simple to do that.
Heart.
Yo, Feudal Diana, thanks for the tier 1 for 2 months. Really appreciate it. Okay, now he's going to go ahead and pull in some more deer here as he continues to develop his economy. We can expect some scouts or whatnot, but nothing too crazy here. And as far as Dragon Star, with the Armenians, he's got the barracks down to start things off. And then he's going to go for the quick house. Got the mule cart at the back. Mule cart, obviously, really, really solid. Kind of inherent bonus for the wood line. It doesn't make your efficiency better right away necessarily. I think it does a little bit. But over time, it really creates a nice efficiency for your lumber camps. You never have to refresh lumber camps, which is such a big advantage in my opinion. You can move it from lumber to stone at some point if you want to as well. Such a flexible, such a fun building here. Dragon Star's map is very nice. Yeah, really easy to close, wood lines. This gold is a bit hard to defend, but easy wall to the top as well. The gold can be a little bit of a problem. It is forward on a hill. But notice how he made his buildings. His buildings are to defend this gold. I always talk about this. It's very, very important. And he's going to actually go with the Spearman rush. Oh, very nice. A few spears early on in the Dark Age, on the way up to Feudal Age. And this could lead to a nice spear skirm play, or maybe a spear scout play if he wants to. I'm interested to see how T90 reacts to this one. Now remember, Poles do have regenerating villagers. So if it ever comes down to a Vil fight, T90 is going to be fine. And oh, here I think we see the first inaccuracy of the game, to be honest. And I say inaccuracy, it's similar to a chess term. It's not a mistake, but it does put T90 in an interesting position. So he's going to wall towards his TC and wall the back of the base, which is very good early game to defend it, but it does leave all 3 of his golds outside of his walls. So this is not a mistake, and it's potentially not even bad, but if T90 is not careful, he can have a hard time getting to those golds. So I want to see how he manages to break out of these walls past a certain point here, past that early game. But as far as early game to defend the Spear Rush, this should be pretty good. Although, that being said, I think Dragonstar can just run through this, and indeed he will. Look at that. I mean, you know, the top players, guys, they are very good. The Dragonstar is not going to let a few walls stop him from getting some harass. And now he's in with a couple spears and the scout, and oh, this is bad news. All of a sudden, the walls aren't doing a whole lot. This is something I don't recommend doing. I don't think T90 should be walling here. He should be doing other things like getting double bit axe, getting horse collar. That being said, he does get the wall down. Ooh, but he loses anyway. That was really impressive, though. I'm gonna rewind that actually real quick. Let's take a look at that wall. There we go. Let's take a look at how he managed that. Hit one, hit the other, and just had to hit this one a bit more to make it work. We'll fast forward there. So loses the bill. Almost a very nice play. But like I said, he was better off focusing on other things. Now, he doesn't really have the eco to get horse collar or double bit axe. So these 2 spears have done a number on his economy already. And now he's making farms without the eco upgrades. This is a nasty position for T90. He does not want to be in this position. And this farm is actually not properly on the full work. It's not like the ideal farm placement for the full work either. So things are falling apart. And this is, again, testament to how strong the early Spearman rush is with the Armenians behind this. We just see Dragonstar chilling. Just 2 spears. He's already got enough damage, so he doesn't feel the need to add something else. And he's doing fine. T90 is now going for a blacksmith. Oh no, second full work. Whoa, second full work? Before horse collar and double bit axe. I think that's not really the priority here. I think definitely getting more on berries first, getting those upgrades, and then looking for the second full work is probably the way to go. Couple scrims coming out for T90 just to clear up the spears. He just wants to get them out of there. He's not too far behind at this point. He doesn't have that much idle time. So it's really just the fact that he lost the bill and, you know, missing the eco upgrades that's hurting him at the moment. Other than that, I think he's more or less fine. Let's see how he's able to clear this up and then recover his economy. It's really important how you come back from some mistakes in the early game here. Remember, a game isn't defined by a single mistake, right? So, like, the game's still going strong here. Does have a scout here. One thing I will say, though, I think T90 is a little bit blind. Good pick on the scout, though. Very nice. I think he's a little bit blind to what the follow-up is here. Like, he's farming pretty exposed out here. And he doesn't know that, well, you know, Dragonstar's not doing anything. We know this, but T90 doesn't know this. So he should send a scout out, and I think beautiful he's doing that. So, yeah, T90, even though he's in-game, and he's focused, and, you know, he sees the pressure in his base, he still thought, you know what, let's go ahead and scout the follow-up. See what Dragonstar is doing after this, because all we've seen so far is 2 spears, and he's going to see that Dragonstar fully walled his base to its entirety at this point. Wheelbarrow now coming in for Dragonstar. He's clearly thinking about going up to the castle age here, and he'll do so in a second. Does have the market, so can buy some gold as well. Very nice mule cart economy, and now we see the blacksmith there as well. So 2 buildings for him. T90 scouts it all. He missed the market, but he scouted the walls and the blacksmith. So you can assume the Dragonstar is going to go towards the castle age. And what's the response to this? Ooh, the response is to go forward with a few villagers. That is a bit rough. That is a bit rough. I'm not sure if I like that, actually. So the reason I'm not really a fan of this is I feel like, yes, he's going to be able to tower the gold, but I do feel as if it's a bit late. Like, Dragonstar is almost up to the cast age already. So conceptually, I don't mind the tower rush, and T90 did pick up double bit axe eventually. Fundamentally, I don't mind the tower rush. I just feel like it's about like 3 minutes too late. Yeah, and that's definitely kind of a problematic site here. We're having some webcam issues, by the way. It's the webcam colors are looking pretty bad. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is actually. Hold on. Either way. Well, I'm very, very white. Ghosty today. It is what it is. Now we see defensive tower from a Dragonstar coming up here. And so, I mean, let's see. T90 is going to go forward to the tower. Try to disrupt Dragonstar a little bit. Dragonstar makes a defensive tower. Still trying to take some gold as well. And already has a 2-stable transition. And these 2 stables were in a reaction to what T90 did. Okay? If T90 didn't go forward to the tower, I'm almost 100% sure we might have seen only 1 stable. And then a monastery. But 2 stable is just a reaction to the forward. Getting 2, then 4 knights on the field will just clear up the forward and launch a very nice counterattack. But I do like what T90 is doing. He's expanding his walls to include the stone in, which is good. But like I said, he's kind of keeping the gold outside. He's forced to take the gold on the front, but that is exposed. And he's working his way towards the castle age now. He'll click in a second. Dragonstar hitting an 18-minute castle time. 18-minute castle time after that spear pressure. Very, very solid stuff. And this is actually the same strategy I made a video about the other day, where I invented a strategy on the rank ladder. Dragonstar is actually using a very similar thing, where the Spearman rush into a fast castle, except he went for a fast feudal instead of doing the pure fast castle, which made him, 2 minutes later to castle age, but having a better economy compared to my build. Either way, here he's going to use the knights to clear up the builds, and this is what I was talking about with T90 being too late with the tower rush. I kind of envisioned exactly this would happen with him, harassing the gold, but then getting cleaned up by the knights because you don't have enough time in the feudal age. Your opponent is rushing towards the castle age. Now he lost 4 villagers, he lost the tower, and Dragonstar gets the monastery, keeps his gold secure. This is 100% beneficial for Dragonstar. And this is actually kind of a big disaster for T90 now, because he's later towards the castle age, and he's down those 4 vills. I would have liked to see no tower rush, just let Dragonstar get the fast castle, because we didn't really do anything to stop him, and then use those 4 villagers to rely on the pole farming economy, and hopefully do a nice castle age. Now we're in a weird state where we're actually making Spearman against Armenian Knights, and Armenian Knights aren't great. Dragonstar's only making a couple, and now he makes a couple scouts, just to control the relics and put a bit of pressure. His plan is not to go all in knights, so the fact that we're making a few spearmen here, that's just setting us further behind on our goal to get the pole cavalry. So T90 is kind of like reacting to what was the reaction of Dragonstar. Dragonstar doesn't care to make knights this game. And what does Dragonstar care about? The relics! The warrior priests are coming out already. This is what Dragonstar sees. He's scouting for more relics, and he's looking to pick up the ones he sees. He wants the 6th relic play. And these 3 knights are simply to gain that map control. Alright? One scout for T90. And T90 knows about this. I think he's going to go ahead and try to contest the relics a little bit. It's going to be hard, right? He's kind of split a little too thin, He's making a town center. He made a few spears. And now he's trying to make 1 stable cavalry, which is a bit awkward. Whoa, Pax AoE with the 20 gifted subs, brother. That is huge. Thank you so much. Look at this, YouTube. Look how generous the Twitch community is. That's a massive, massive contribution here. Thank you for all the support, Pax. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, make sure to say thank you. Thank you to him if you did get a gifted sub as well. Now, let's see what T90 can do here. He's behind, but he's not out of it 100% just yet. He actually does have a lot of stone, so I could see a world where he booms up with 2 town centers, potentially adds in the 3rd, and maybe a forward castle to reclaim all the relics. I could see that working. A castle here can be devastating, right? Let's take a look. Spears engaging on the knights, and a few scouts now from T90. Maybe we'll see a lake have tech as well. But I mean, as you can see right here, guys, like, the game isn't going towards what T90 wants it to be. He doesn't have the 2nd farm upgrade, which is absolutely crucial for poles. He doesn't have the light cab or husbandry upgrade right now, which is exactly what they want to be into at this point. And he doesn't even have like the 3rd town center set up or the castle set up to put pressure. So he's kind of like far behind in every aspect of the pole game. And the only thing he's got going for him is the fact that he's got 3 full work farms set up, which is not bad. But again, without the 2nd farm upgrade, it's really nothing to brag about. Whereas on the contrary here, Dragonstar is playing exactly the game Armenian wants to play. He's picking up the relics with the warrior priests. He's booming up with a couple town centers, and he's mining a lot of stone to be able to set up the composite bowman transition. And so he's in a much better position compared to what a Civ wants to do. All right, finally we see the light cap from T90. He's been struggling. He's getting heavy plow. So you can see he knows what he wants to do, and he's just doing it at a slower pace than what you'd want ideally, and that is because you lost those 4 bills on that failed tower rush. So that's been like the crucial mistake from T90 that really set him behind this game. Obviously, the early game with the Spearman coming in was not ideal, but it was really the tower rush that was like kind of a game-losing mistake potentially. Like I said, though, he still has a chance to win this game. He's up in the scorecards. He has more resources collected, and that's coming from the pole economy. And he's deciding to stay on 2 TCs here. Farming a lot with the full works instead of adding the third. And I think he wants to go for a lot of pressure out of the second stable. So he clearly wants to put a lot of pressure here. But the timing window, slowly running out. Dragonstar makes the castle on the hill. Beautiful stuff from Dragonstar, guys. He knows he wants to protect that church. And although the church can shoot arrows, if a church has 5 relics, and I think the 6th one coming in, yep, you want to defend that with a castle. Because 6 relics is your win condition with Armenians. And again, I mentioned that in the video I made, I think a week ago, with the Armenian strategy that I invented with quotations. I spoke about it. I said that this Civ relies on the 6 relics because its army is pretty weak. But if it has the 6 relics, it's very easy to win with the Civ. And that's exactly what Dragonstar's trying to do here. The 6th one's coming in. Actually, T90 might have something to say about it here, though. Ooh, and the Relic gets by anyways. Couldn't quite find the last hit there. Now these guys can just heal each other up, which is kind of cool. Castle goes down. And T90's in a rough spot. Goes for a farm TC. Here would have been better, my guy. But of course, it's the walls. He didn't think to go out here because he walled it out. I knew this would be a problem. Now we're stuck with this TC. That's not very nice. It's as close to the gold as he can get. That hill definitely screwing him up. But that definitely back here would have been much better. But he is going to go for the forward castle here. And I like this play because he kind of has to make something happen. If he doesn't make something happen in late castle age, he will just simply die to Armenian late game with 6 relics. Armenians have a good economy here. And so this castle is huge. Let's take a look at what Dragonstar sees, though. He's got the outpost, so he knows it's coming. Brings in the warrior priests. The monk from T90 gets a nice conversion here. This is looking pretty good to start things off. Nice snipe by Dragonstar, though. And now the question is, does Dragonstar try to go up to Imperial Age to treb this down? Or does he commit to some Castle Age pressure? It looks like he might try something in Imperial Age. T90 looks like he wants to commit more in Castle Age, though. Goes for the fight here. The Light Cav and a couple Knights. I think they should be stronger than what Dragonstar has on the field right now. And a good fight combined with the forward castle is what T90 needs to turn this game around. This is actually looking quite good for him in some ways. Don't get me wrong, I think Dragonstar is clearly ahead at the moment because he's got the resources to click him. He's got enough for a second castle. And he can always move back to that back gold there with the town center if he wants to. So this town center at the front wasn't a huge loss. Now we see a castle on the front. It's a quick wall with a castle, guys. I don't think I've seen this too often. A quick wall with a castle. The Dragonstar gets it done. Gets it down. Now I feel like T90's in a pretty tricky spot. Because once you're up against 2 castles, especially if Ballistics comes in, Dragonstar's kind of missing Ballistics, but he's getting Bogdan Arrow and Handcart now, which is definitely a priority. Once Ballistics comes in, it's just hard to raid. Ooh, is T90 trying to go up to Imp himself? I think that could be a mistake. Maybe what's better than Imp here is getting the unique tech. And then going all in Castle Age. I think that's what I would do here. Because I feel like if you try to go up to Imperial Age, you know you're going to be up later. And I don't think polls have a lot in early Imp. Like, what do you guys think? Both in the chat on Twitch and the comment section and YouTube, if this gets there. Like, are polls really that strong in early Imperial Age to justify this? I think even T90 is questioning it, but he does go to Imp in the end. I thought maybe the second armor, he might be questioning it. Should he go all in Castle? But he's going Imperial Age. And oh, Dragonstar is imping from this TC. Oh my god, that could be a problem. And T90's got a ram. We don't have the cavalry though. We're scouting kind of the side of the map. That could have been a huge problem. I think Dragonstar gets away with this. Yeah, 15 seconds. It should be completely fine. Should be completely fine. Ballistics now coming in from Armenians. Now we see a trebuchet as well right away. Smart choice. We have to put up the forward castle. And you know what? Now that I look at this, the forward castle from T90 could buy a lot of time. Again, I really just question what army we're going to go into. We go for the university and we can make a second range. It is possible to maybe play towards Arbalest. Arbalest would be pretty good against the composite bowman because we actually outrange them. So if we know opponent is on composite bowman, we could, in theory, go for the Arbalest. Ram, not going to do a whole lot. The T90 getting this forward castle has actually been great. This is the best move he's done all game by far. Because it allowed him to get the stone in the front as well. This castle bought a lot of time and killed the town center. And forced Dragonstar off of that gold. So that castle did a lot. And look at the raids. T90 is going crazy with the raids as well. Very nice. Really well played. And you know what? Exactly what he needs right now is more of those raids. And look at Dragonstar running back to Mule Cart. That's so funny. Mission abandoned. Look at that. I mean, the Vills died, but the Mule Cart lives on. That's so sick. He got 3 here. Could use one of that back gold if he wants it. I don't know why he's going out there. Does he know about that back gold? He doesn't know. That's why he's going out here. Big mistake from Dragonstar. You always get 3 golds. He should know about that. Wow. So Dragonstar could potentially be in a lot of trouble here, actually. Does have the 6 relics, so gold isn't the biggest issue. But T90's making a comeback. He's making a comeback. He was very far behind at some points this game. And to some extent, he does still have some disadvantages. He's going to lose that castle. He is down 6 relics, guys. It's a big deal. And let me just show you how big of a deal that is. Go to the economy stats here. 2.2k gold so far from those relics. Let that sink in, guys. 2.2k gold. It's a lot of dollars for Dragonstar. And they keep ticking away. Now we see the Elite Skirmisher transition. Okay. So not going for the Arbalest, goes for the Elite Skirm instead. Wants a direct counter to the Composite Bowman. Composite Bowmen do ignore armor as they shoot, though. So they're actually, in some ways, decent against the Skirms. But they do get outranged by the Skirms. I think their weakest, or their best counter is probably Siege. But good micro always fixes that. Look at that. Beautiful stuff from Dragonstar. T90 got nothing with that Magino. T90 getting armor on Skirms is probably not the priority because the units ignore armor. So you actually don't need armor at all. You're much better off getting like the Winged Hussar upgrade one day. Or the trample damage upgrade. I just realized we have the 2k gold stat on the screen as well. My bad. I'm new to this casting thing. Look at that. The gold is on the screen from the relics. Elite Composite Bowman coming in now. And this comp is looking good. Composite Bowman plus Light Cav with some trebs moving forward. This seems like a pretty good push from Dragonstar here. T90 could be in trouble. He's massing a lot of Light Cav. Does have a couple Bomber Cannons, which actually is probably the best tool the Poles have over the Armenians. The Armenians do not get the Bomber Cannon. So I could see a world where T90 holds this castle simply because he has the Bomber Cannon. That would be the MBL play at any rate. And you can see Dragonstar is actually hesitating. Scroll lead is flipping back and forth. T90 currently has it. This Treb is in a lot of trouble. Has to go back. Does indeed. The right time. And T90 is buying a lot of time. Winged Hussar is coming in. This is good. The more time is bought, the better it is. If they fight right now, it's no surprise Dragonstar is going to win. It's no surprise. But if we wait, the longer we wait, the more the Poles farm are kicking in. If crop rotation can come in, maybe. Winged Hussar, some extra upgrades could come in. Dragonstar's going for some monk techs here, though. Monks are good, but not really against Hussar. Let's see how good those composite bowmen are. From my testing, they've been pretty solid. Like, I'm really liking this unit. T90 is still missing the trample tech upgrade, still missing blast furnace, so those Hussar are nowhere near fully upgraded here. But they can still be a good tool for raiding. T90 is getting a castle on the right side. Look at him trying to play the map control here. Outpost on the side. He's the student of the game, boys. Very nice to see that, actually. In all of my high elo coaching sessions, I always tell them about outposts on the side. In lower levels, it's not too important. You guys just have to focus on like producing and using the right units. But in high elo, when both are on the right units, it becomes about how you use those units. And Outpost on the side gives you the vision to use those units as good as possible. Now we see the crossbow transition. Okay, crossbow into Arbalest. Definitely solid. A lot of monk techs coming in, so clearly Dragonstar wants to use more monks. And the church with a tower and a castle. This is a hard area to raid. You will be taking some damage as you run through. T90 picks up masonry. I think that's a bad tech right now. He needs to prioritize his military upgrades more. I would even prefer siege engineers over masonry. I think masonry is a good tech, but probably after you get everything else that's more important for your army. He's sniping some trebs though. That's good. Trebs are expensive. And that castle for 2 trebs is actually, if you think about it, a decent deal for the Poles. It's a decent deal. Armenian Light Cab, nothing to brag about here. They are missing the last armor. I think they get all upgrades aside from that though, so they're decent. Kind of like the Japanese. I feel like Dragonstar is kind of falling apart here though. This is looking better and better for T90. He's stocking up some bomber cannons. No siege engineers yet. Has a good amount of skirms, crossbows. Always with the winged hussar. Getting some constant raids. Although it's nothing crazy, he is forcing Dragonstar to react, right? Dragonstar's out of gold at the back. And the fights in the front are looking okay for T90 here. The skirms are doing good work against the archers. And even though, you know, it's not the best trades I've ever seen, T90 is not losing that many gold units. Although I say that, and damn, a lot at the back get cleaned up to that castle. Okay, here's the thing. If T90 wants to get Arbalest, he's got to get the upgrade. He's got to mass them up. Arbalest Winged Hussar is the best composition for Poles in this situation, by far. T90 is still missing a lot of upgrades. Remember, we talked about Blast Furnace, the Golden Crown unique tech, Arbalest, Siege Engineer. A lot of techs missing here. And I feel like Dragonstar has pretty much all of his techs. He's ready to go right now. Just missing the Blast Furnace, actually. Other than that, he's ready to go. He's got a nice army of monks with the bombard cannons. Arbalest tech coming in. Both players contesting some raids. I think T90 with the castle here would be way better. Way better than the one here. The one here doesn't really do much. The one here would control the entire middle of the map. And a golden stone, which is huge. Now we see Blast Furnace. And actually the Men-at-Arms tech transition for Armenians. I don't think Champions is good here. I don't think that's important. I think if anything, he'd want Halberdier over the Champions. But let's see. He's going to commit to Champions. It's a long transition. We'll check back with him tomorrow to see if he's finished it. In the meantime, it's all about these trades here. Monks kind of counter bomber cannon, but not really at the same time. They do convert it, but T90 can move. Ooh, doesn't move that one though. Loses the bomber cannon, gets it converted. And still hard for him to defend. Or sorry, for Dragonstar to push. I think it's easier, sorry, for T90 to defend. Ferber coming in now. He's got the hill, he's got the bomber cannon. And he's got the Arbalest now, fully upgraded. And look at this. Cannons going out. They're one-shotting the monk with the hill bonus. They're targeting some of the composite bowmen as well. Hussars are getting shredded, to be honest. They have very little to do here. But they're tanking. They're tanking. T90 needs to focus the trebs, though, with the cannons. And I don't know if he's able to do that. He's having trouble, certainly. And that castle is going to go down. And, oh, a couple cannons get converted. Big shot from Dragonstar using the converted cannon on the Arbalest. This is not what T90 wanted at all, and I feel like his defense is getting completely broken. Oh man, that was looking so good for T90 for a second, and unfortunately the game got flipped completely on its back. T90 gets cleaned in the fight, and Dragonstar breaks the defense. GG, well played to both these players. And it was really cool to see T90 going up against the new Civ. I think, you know, people on YouTube were asking me to review some games of some lower levels, and I think we can slowly come down from the pros here. This is like, you know, basically the next step. Dragonstar is like, you know, just under top 16. T90 is probably around like top 70 to top 80-ish, maybe top 50, something like that. And this is the games that it produces. Like some mistakes on both sides, some good plays on both sides. And in the end, it comes down to like the little things that could have been done better. But overall, very solid game and a very entertaining one. And I think like if I had to think of like what's missing for T90 here in a game like this, it would be like the early game, how he set up his base. I feel like if I were to think of how I would have done it, I would have probably not went for the early walls like he did, and then instead just saved my resources to get the early, eco upgrades, and then just go for like the military right away, and that would help me defend my full works against the civ like Armenians. If I'm playing against a more aggressive civ, maybe I full wall, but yeah, I don't let 2 spears do that much damage and set me far behind. I think that was something that really kind of screwed T90 a little bit. And then walling out his gold as well made things a bit awkward. So I'd say definitely like base layout in the early game was kind of holding him back. Also, the tower rush, that was just the wrong call. So like going back and reviewing this game, I would say 100% do not tower rush. Clean up the early game, set up the base a bit better, and you've got yourself a very, very solid game. Let's go through the stats real quick here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube if you guys did enjoy it. And let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more like this as well. I do enjoy doing these reviews, both in tournament games and ladder games, and especially with guys that are well known in the community, well known casters and players alike. And yeah, thanks for watching, and catch you guys later. Peace.